Welcome to Unity for the few that made it in person, and welcome everyone that's joining us on live stream this morning. We usually start with just doing a chant, and we had advertised that Norma was going to lead the music today, but I got lucky and I get to do it today. So today we're going to kind of hold a prayer vigil for our planet and for the consciousness of this world. We've seen the power of prayer happening in Jack's life, who's been facing some issues with COVID, and for weeks he's really just been trying to get his life force back, and you've been all sending your prayers in for him, and he is getting better and better, and we're really grateful that he's making a turn for the better. But just to keep a prayer vigil on him, because those prayers are working, and we want to see a full recovery here. So we're just really going to be focusing some love towards him and sending prayers, and also reminding when you pray for someone else, it just opens the gates for all the prayers to come into our own being, for receiving shifts and pivots and things that we need in our lives where we're feeling stuck. It makes that forward movement happen again. So, in the Bible it says when we pray for another and hold vigil in light for more health for another, we create more health and light for ourselves. And I know that many of us are, Steve Hayes said it so beautifully on Wednesday at the meditation that he led, that we're feeling a bit like fish out of water right now. There's just so much change, so much turbulence really on our planet, in the world, but in our own lives. From my experience and all the interactions I'm having, our lives are speeding up and handing us more and more, and we're wondering, how can we take on one more thing? It's almost like Larry lost his house in the fire a few weeks ago. We've have a few parishioners have lost their homes, and it's a pushing. It's like there's an energy where it's like you just want something to flow, and it feels like you have to work so much harder to make something come out the way it used to. You do it, and it would happen, and now it's like, why won't the computer work? Why won't this happen? To get us to this where it just flows. And I had that yesterday. I was performing a memorial, and till 10 minutes before the service happened, we could not get the PowerPoint of his entire life to work. And I'm thinking, that's like everything to the memorial service, is the remembering of somebody's entire life. And it was just the pressure. It's like, Spirit, what is the test? What is this test that it's more difficult to get things to unfold? And the last few months have been that way for me in a major way. And then we always can come back to, I'm attached to things going the way that I like them to, versus letting go and discovering what the bigger picture of our soul unfoldment is through this pushing. It's not because of some judgmental God outside of us that's handing us more and more than we can handle and feeling oppressed about life. It's okay, I guess the way we always did things and operated with no longer serves. And that's that point where we have to let go. It's like Esther Hicks says, sometimes you're just pushing, and you're pushing that raft up the river, you're pushing, and you're trying to make it happen your way, and what the universe is saying, just drop the oars and let the boat correct itself and let the universe take over. And I'm saying this as much to myself as I'm sharing this with you, because there's so many departments, areas of my life right now that's like, okay, I can't wait to see the good that's going to come from all this, right? Making a positive affirmation out of it and going, wow, all of this shift and change is for me. And so therefore, a beautiful unfoldment for the next phase of my life is coming. And like they say, it's always darkest before the dawn. And so we can have a lot of hope in that darkness, because it's just about to get over that threshold, and we can look back on our life and witness when that's happened in our life before, and we overcame it. And we overcame it by letting go and trusting and having faith in this greater power, this greater love we call God, source, universe, whatever, makes you feel touched and held and loved. So I wanted to start with a chant, and it will be repeatable, so I'll do it and then you can sing it. Or no, I'm not repeating it, am I? No, I'm not. So you'll learn it and you can sing along with me. All right, so they say to sing is to pray twice. And all these candles represent humanity and this planet and our relationships and our children and our life and the next phases of the greatness that's coming and the healing, the full healing for Jack and the full healing for all of our hearts as well. So we'll just sing this into the universe, and we know that it's just calling Spirit to be moving in and through everything that is always created and perfect in the divine. Okay. So I've been doing this wonderful workshop with a really powerful author and teacher, and just supporting myself for the new year to fill my glass up so I have something to give here. And it's called Your Wish is the Universe's Command. And it's done by Mike Dooley. It's just an online workshop that I've been doing, and I'm going to just be quoting some of the things that he shared in it, because it's all things that I've taught in all my prosperity classes and all the classes I've taught, but it's just sometimes nice to just sit back and bask in somebody else sharing it from a different perspective or just a different language. And we use the words, we have to overcome our overwhelm. It's time to overcome the overwhelm that many of us are facing in this world where there's really not enough downtime and just being with self, connecting with the heart, and letting Spirit whisper the messages of what's needed at this time. Not only for what needs to be unfolded within and through our being and serve as what the outpicturing is as us in this world, but to be silent and know what God is asking us to really bring to the consciousness and to the frequency of the consciousness of this world. And we're no good to this world when we're sitting in a state of overwhelm by our own personal lives. And I don't think that any of us are exempted of this overwhelm at the time. And we're kind of like used to living in a subtle state of anxiety. It's kind of like the baseline. Instead of learning how to live from a state of peace and love. Regardless of what we're seeing on the news or what's unfolding in our children's lives or our marriages or our work. I would just say don't watch the news. I watch it very little. Every once in a while I'll tune in just so I'm somewhat a part of what's happening in the world. And every time I'm like, why did I do that? It's like, ugh. My life is enough to be contending with. Especially those of us that are on a spiritual journey. We're more connected to the heart frequency. And the energy of the world is, it doesn't feel like it's very connected to the heart vibration, which is at the pace of the earth beat. That earth beat, when you think of native music, it's a slow beat, it's a slow step, it's a slow vision, we're slow to figuring out what the next thing is, because the universe is going, figure it out right now and make a decision right now, because the email said you have to, or the text is saying you have to, or you gotta answer this, everybody's so ready for your instant answer because we can instantly answer. When in the old days we had to wait till we got home. Well, maybe some of you are too young, but when we had actual just telephones, we had to wait till we were actually at our office to follow through on a conversation, or to our houses. And there were other people in the house, and we all had to share that phone, right? We thought, we look back on these times and we go, those were the dinosaur ages. I would do anything to go back there. Truly, truly. I would go back to that simpler time. I would like to just go back and visit for like a few weeks, what that felt like, so I could be reminded to bring it here. I've been in a subtle state of anxiety for the last few months, and it's, holding Christmas performances and choir practices and communicating with choirs and bands and running this church and doing counseling and getting my daughter prepared to leave for Paris, which she just did a few weeks ago, to go to school at the Cordon Bleu. And that happened while we all had COVID, so I wasn't even able to hug my daughter goodbye. It's just been like things like that just, these huge moments in your life, and it's like, I don't know, what's the word for it? Depressing. I don't really think there's another, you had an actual expectation that you're going to hug your daughter before she goes on this massive voyage. So how do we overcome the overwhelm? And as you know, my father's been facing just some lingering issues from his COVID experience. And so he'll be back here, and he's had, doctors say that he's going to have a full recovery. It's really an energy thing. It's like, we've heard a lot of people have had that kind of longer experience where it's just fatigue. And there's no, leading services in that state. You're really sleeping a lot. And I was like that. I actually still feel like that. And I had it like 3 weeks ago, but I still kind of have that, like, I do basic activities with my dog and stuff, and I'm like, wow, I am, you got to really get, it's kind of intense to go through the COVID thing. I mean, it is. So how do we go deeper with the universe during times like this? I've been going back to my prayerful life in a much stronger way with all of these things, especially with my father. And, I have an attachment to him staying here, right? And I know he will now, but we had some days there that was really, worrisome. And boy, does that take you back to the prayerful state. Just remember after taking care of him for 3 days and 3 nights straight and giving him medicine every 2 hours. And I was just coming out of COVID myself, so I was so weak and I was so exhausted. And I finally got this break in my bedroom, and I was laying there, and I was just asking God to help me coming from the busiest phase here at Unity to immediately COVID to this. There was no sleep for me, no rest to recover or recuperate from all of it. And I just started saying the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. And wherever I am, God is. And I felt a tiredness finally come over me that was taking me out of that overwhelm where you just aren't sleeping because you're running on adrenaline. And this sense of love, so palpable I could taste it, just came in, and it was like I was being held by the universe while I said this prayer. The light of God surrounds me. Yes. The light of God is always surrounding me. The love of God enfolds me. Yes. The love of God enfolds me. And I felt that love, and I was reminded that I can do anything because God can do anything. And there is no limitation of energy in what I can extend to another. That's the judgment of what the physicality of life is. The physical can't go on and on and on without food or drink or sleep. But the spiritual being is limitless. And I got a little 2-hour nap at that time. And when I woke up, it felt like I had a week's worth of a nap. It was like the universe heard it. I need to feel that you are protecting me and you are living through me. And it was almost like a superpower, waking up to face the next 3 days of the exact process. And it once again reawoken in me how close Spirit is. It's literally just an ask away. Spirit is just closing our eyes and just thanking Spirit for the moments that have actually finally gone well, and asking for help, to help you see from an eagle point of view what is being called of this moment. What is being called of me as this masterful daughter of yours, or the masterful son that you are of God? What is being asked of me? And not answering the text or the email that's giving you that anxiousness or that overwhelm, but going, that will rest. And if it takes me a day to answer or 3 days to answer, that is your divine right. Instead of answering from anxiety or overwhelm. What is being called, Spirit? What are you asking me to deliver through me from this greater love? So, I loved something that Mike Dooley shared a few days ago in our daily lesson. And he said, use all of your angels. And he talked about an author that wrote a book many years ago called The Angels in My Hair, and maybe some of you read it. But she talks about in the book how none of us were sent to the human experience without an actual dedicated guardian angel to each and every one of us. And angels, they tend to have kind of a Christian tone. And for me, I'm all of it. I'm not any religion, really. I'm a part of the religion where they all agree, not the one that ever separates from any other. It all comes down to love. It all comes down to loving thyself as the vehicle that God made us. But this guardian angel, he explained, is that angels never lived on earth. We have lived on earth. We chose to be brave enough to come to this earthly experience. And angels are actually, they look up to us because we're closer to God, because we were willing to step in and get into the arena of life. I love this visual, right? And so they're too timid to deal with the ups and downs and the hardships and the stuff we face, the grief, the life things that we experience. And their only job is to look after us. And if they are not seeing us smiling for a while, everything they're doing behind the scenes is doing everything to bring a smile back to our face, which I love this visual. There's something, this glorious love is being, they're running around trying to fix that relationship or that thing that's hard for us that we can't seem to move through. They're trying to clean it up from the ethereal realm, right? So that, we can overcome a situation. And there's angels, many, many different angels for different issues. Some are for healing, some are for dealing with conflict. And you can send your angel, your conflict angel, to handle the angel of the person you're having a conflict with, and they get to have the duel instead of you. Isn't this fun? And I've been using it. And it's brought great peace to me. I love the feeling of my healing angel working with my Father's healing angel. Right? I know that thy will be done is the most important virtue. Whatever is called of the situation is what is meant to be. I'm not trying to control or dictate the outcome of my Father, but I see a will, and so I want that will to be fulfilled for him, right? So there's so many ways to apply this wisdom to overcome our overwhelm. When we're overwhelmed, we're not connected to God. We're not connected to Spirit. This is the time you turn off that computer, you turn that phone off, turn the ringer off when you're sleeping, unless you have young children or teenagers. The dings, the Facebook dings, and this ding, that ding. I mean, I have so many dings coming through my phone, I don't even know what it is anymore, but it's just an anxiety, because it's like someone needs me. And sometimes we need ourselves. Because when we are with self, in the I am, that's the greatest word for God, I am. Just saying that, or I am healed. I am whole. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am blessed. I'm divinely guided. I am ready. I am in allowance. I am your precious daughter. I am your precious son. I am quiet and still and allowing your truth and love to move in and through me. So I'm going to do another chant, and then we'll go into meditation. I guess sing another chant, not do another chant. Sing another chant. That's a good word. Now we're just going to go into meditation for 10 or a little bit more minutes, and let's aim with our heart. Let's keep the intellect out of it today. Affirming that everything that we're desiring in our life right now is already coming to us. That yearning for healing, that yearning for change, that yearning for a different job. That's God tapping on the door of your heart. To visualize and know that God hears you and is moving you forward towards that which is your desire and your calling. Gosh, you can turn it up a little bit. Start coming back into this room and into our bodies. Recognizing that we have a prayer list on the stage that's taking place it's actually in the wood box over here, where congregants' names have been submitted of all the people that have lost their homes and animals in the fire, people that are attending this center that are facing illness and loss. We just want to see them all unfolded in God's love. That their life may be healed. That their hearts can go into wholeness again. And we see God moving in and through each person's name and each person's life to bring about a healing and a miracle for them today, including Jack. And while we're being a part of the sending of prayers and good vibrations out into this world, I want to recognize that in our hands, they're in a powerful place when you've meditated. If there's any area of your body that you're facing a challenge, use this like holy energy and place your hands there and just let that healing energy move in and through any discord, any unrest. We see God moving in and through our hands this time, bringing healing, bringing homeostasis, bringing perfection to our physical, mental, and spiritual bodies. Now we'll place our hands with our hands facing, palms facing up. become a channel of blessings for others, and recognize this energy from our hands starting to swirl around this room in a clockwise motion. Till all of our light is connected and moving in a light beam around this room, moving in and through each and every one of us. And then slowly seeing this light expanding beyond the doors of this building, surrounding all of Boulder, heightening frequencies and bringing love into the hearts and minds of all people. Visualizing this light moving beyond Boulder to all of Colorado, the United States, until this light has surrounded the entire planet with healing love for the hearts and minds of all people that live on it. Healing love for the mother that gives us life. And gratitude for the mother that gives us life. And to this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And for those of you that are watching us on live stream, there's many ways to tithe to unity. And for those of you that are here, we have offering takers. And so let's just take our offerings in our hands and bless it with this offering statement. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive because I give. Amen. Bless you this week. Have a beautiful week. Let's overcome the overwhelm. Blessings.